Hey groupies, welcome back to Form of Therapy. This is the Culture Study. I'm the channel's video producer. You can call me PD, and today we are checking out Zombie by DAY6. Very excited for this. Apparently fans love it. I heard from Jay himself that apparently this comeback slaps. Now, unfortunately, I believe this promotion is not actually going to be going through the usual promotional cycle due to anxiety issues, and completely understand. I do wish that we could see them perform. But, you know, even just getting a new album, which some of my people in the audience are saying that this is a contender for album of the year. We'll see. We'll do a separate listening party for that. But, you know, just having this music in general, especially during these times, I think is more than what we can ask for. So I'm grateful that we could even get a new music video and a new comeback. Now, speaking of our current climate, we are unfortunately under quarantine. That's why our set is in my bedroom. And things like watching TV or playing games have sort of lost its luster. In fact, I am more eager to learn something. And one of the most important tools for that is today's sponsor, Skillshare. So we've worked with Skillshare before. I've used them personally. I've had a handful of my viewers tell me that it's helped them stay preoccupied during this very difficult time, and I just heard that quarantine is going to be extended possibly throughout the rest of this summer. So if you need something to do, why not learn a new skill and become a member of Skillshare, an online community with people who are always hungry to learn more, like me. Previously, I've taken a class called Video on a Budget by one of my favorite YouTubers, Christopher Rhodes, and I'm actually starting up a new series. It's called Graphic Design Basics, Core Principles for Visual Design. I have always wanted to get into graphic design. You guys have heard me talk about it, and I'm actually finally taking the plunge with this quarantine time. I'm finally going to get into graphic design, and there are a whole bunch of different other classes you can take for various topics. Now, for our viewers especially, Skillshare is offering 2 months free trial for the first 1,000 people who click the link in the description down below. That is 2 free months. I mean, you're going to be in quarantine for those 2 months, so why not join Skillshare? It's free, and if you enjoy it, you can keep using the membership. And a Skillshare membership is cheap. The yearly membership only comes down to like $10 a month. And so during this time where you don't know what to do, try not to find ways to fill your time aimlessly. Find a purpose. Find something that motivates you. And I think learning is the best thing to do so. So thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video and for helping our community to be creative and find our creative side even during this tough time. And remember, for the first 1,000 people who click the link, you get 2 months free trial. Be sure to use the link in the description down below. Now let's get into this video. This is Zombie by DAY6, and this is your form of therapy. Wow. The range they're singing at is really interesting. It's very deep. It's very warm. These camera angles are fascinating. Oh, wow. Oh, even the makeup on One Pill. Whoa. Oh. Wow, that drop came out of nowhere. I really didn't see that coming. Wow. This music video is gorgeous. Wow.
그저 잠에 들기만 기다리며 살아.
No way. No way. Okay, so the reason I was so surprised is I feel like the very atypical way to have ended that is after Young K's part, they would have gone into like an outro or like one final chorus of like, you know, the drums coming in and the guitar crashing down. But no, they actually circumvented the expectation of the drop, and the quietness, the hollow sound is just so powerful. Oh my god. This is the kind of song I needed. This is the kind of song I needed from their comeback. I think we've had a lot of good Day6 comebacks, but I think especially in this climate, I don't know if they particularly went this route because of the climate we're in and the situation we're in, but I needed a song that's a little bit dark. I needed a song that's a little bit sad, a little bit bittersweet. You know, I think there's just something about, maybe it's just me, but I think sometimes when you're, not all the time, but sometimes when you're sad or sometimes when you're feeling a lot of anxiety, a song that is just as anxious can somehow provide a sort of relief, a sort of form of therapy. Like knowing that your feeling of loneliness and anxiety and the problems you're facing, like knowing that you're not alone and someone else is going through it, and someone putting that into the form of a song, just it helps you. It helps you feel like you're not alone, and in a way it's like weirdly comforting. I want to point out that the music video, it's very simple, and this might be the most creative, visually interesting music video on what I think is like one of the smallest budgets I've seen, especially for JYP. I want to go through this again because I cannot believe how creative this video is, even more so than their previous one. Let's check it out.
어제는 어떤 날이었나 특별한 게 있었던가 떠올려 보려 하지만 별다를 건 없었던 것 같아 오늘도 똑같이 흘러가.
I mean, I love the angles that they're going with here.
어떻게 견뎌야 할까 마음껏.
Like, look at this. Like, first of all, you've got this tilted angle. You know, usually in cinematography, when you have a tilted angle like this, it's used a lot in horror. It's used in like thrillers or psychological dramatic pieces. When you have a Dutch angle like that, it's portraying that something is a little bit off. And so having the camera angle literally be off, it provides just like it's a very jarring thing to see. The shot is not even. It's like bugging at that, like, you know how when you see something that's perfect or aesthetically pleasing, when everything is straight, when there's a pattern, parallels, etc. You know, our brains are hardwired to recognize patterns and to find patterns and aesthetic lines pleasing. And so to see it slightly be off, it gnaws at you. It's creating like a sensation in your brain, like a feeling of anxiety that you don't even know you're going through. It's very, very subtle, but that's kind of why that shot exists. And so using that shot here already kind of throws you off your balance when listening to the song. Like, it's a music video that is actually setting the mood for the song. And I love also just having Jay right in the foreground, and then having Towon in the background. I do want to say these shots are. This is not the same shot. First of all, they are not. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm 1000% positive that they actually they stitched together two shots. And the way you can tell that is, first of all, there's no way that Jay is that much in focus and Towon is also completely in focus. Even if you have your shutter and your aperture set really high, you cannot get this level of sharpness just based on the way, first of all, how wide this shot is and how in front of the camera J is. No matter what, you will still get there's depth to the scene, so you will get some kind of blur on Towon, but there's absolutely none, which means these are two separate shots. But also further evidence, if you actually look around Jay, if you look around around his frame, they probably couldn't get a clean plate because they actually shot Jay's part on the set. They didn't shoot him against a green screen. Now, to make it clean and to insert him into the scene perfectly, you would shoot him against the green screen. But to get the lighting just perfect and to go to the green screen is also a separate day. It's more shooting days. What they did was, it's actually pretty clever. They also shot this on the set, but they cut him out and then they added a feathering blur. Like if you look around his hair, around his nose, about maybe half an inch of it, it's actually blurry. So for example, like I said, Towon is completely in focus, right? So then why, when you look at the bottom left corner, there's an end table, why is that out of focus even though it is on the same depth of field plane as Towon? And then so if you look closely all around Jay, at least the front side, they cut it out, and then because the cut's not even, you gotta blend it in, it's all blurred out. So this is really creative. I like it.
소리쳐 울면 나질까? Yeah, we live a life. 낮과 밤을 반복하면서 yeah, we live.
Also, this effect right here, I forgot how this is achieved. It's been so long. I believe what it is I could be wrong, but I honestly I haven't brushed up on this skill since the early 2000s, mid 2000s, because I was interested in it back when this was more popular back then. What he's doing, what you usually do to get everyone moving really fast is you have your subject stand completely slow, and then everyone is moving at a normal speed, and then you speed up the footage and everyone starts moving really fast, and you have your shutter set low, which is causing all the blur, and then you have your subject stand still, and then you see life passing them by. What makes this a little bit more intricate is that he is actually moving, and so is the shot. So what might be the case is he might be moving, and correct me if I'm wrong, he might be moving extremely slow, whereas everyone else is moving at a normal speed or a breakneck speed. These might actually just be actors, and they're having them speed walk, whereas he's moving much slower. So then when you speed them up even more, he looks like he's moving at a normal pace. So let's just take a look again. Yeah, given how fast this is going and how slow he is, I feel like that might be the case. And I feel like they're also utilizing some tilt shift. Like if you look at this, I think the most famous example of a tilt shift shot is I don't know, this might not be tilt shift because they're not tiny. But basically, it's when you make your subjects look really tiny, but also the bottom and the top of the frame is very blurred out. If you actually look, the top of the frame and the bottom of the frame is blurred out, and it's providing a very harrowing feeling.
낮과 밤을 반복하면서 Yeah we live a life 뭔가 바꾸려 해도
So remember how I said that this is on a smaller budget. I'm not saying they're cheap. I'm saying they used less money, but they were way more creative compared to how much money they actually poured into the music video. Because first of all, they've been utilizing the same set for a hot minute. It's about to change.
수 있는 것도 가진 것도 없어 보여 I feel like I became a zombie
Then you've got this, just shooting this effect, shooting it outdoors. You're saving a lot more money by using a set.
머리와 심장이 텅 빈
Also, like the soundscape, like it actually kind of sounds like sort of like the nostalgic 80s love synth sounds, right? Like kind of like sort of like the vaporwave synthwave type stuff, but without the actual synths.
생각 없는 어수와비 언제부터 이렇게 된 거다 Oh why I became a zombie
Again, they're still utilizing the same set, but it does not feel boring.
난 또 가라 정처 없이 내일도 들을 것 없이 그저 잠이 들기만을 기다리며 살아
I love this. They've got, it's almost like a stop motion effect. It might be a stop motion effect of what they're doing. First of all, they're literally portraying that he's a zombie. He's like a office drone, just like life is passing him by as he attends work and just, but this part with Tolan. So they're changing the lighting on him and they're having the lighting move physically on set and Tolan is just standing still, but it looks like they might be just stop motioning this. Quite possible. It could be stop motion or it could be a frame rate thing. Yeah. So again, two different shots. Young K, it's blurred out on his left, and the most obvious telling is just like the entire background is blurred out on the right, but it still looks really, really cool. It's so jarring to have him right in your face and then having Jay in the back. And I love how like the light's gonna like just start like shifting like this. That's like a very dramatic, again, very horror inspired effect. Like a lot of this, look at like the cobwebs on the chandelier. Like a lot of this is honestly just very dark movies, like thriller, horror-esque filmmaking styles, but they are making it more emotional.
Live a life 어둠 속에서 눈을 뜬 채로 This meaningless life 편히 쉬고 싶어도 꿈꾸고 싶어도 아무것도 하지 못해
Now, I'm curious as to how they fucking pulled off this shot. This shot might be real. Because, first of all, there's no extra. So, this is what's called a rack focus. It's when you have two different subjects and you focus on one, so the other one's blurred out. And then you turn the focus ring on your lens, which causes you to defocus on your main subject, and then it focuses on the other subject. So, this rack focus, see, like, okay, if we go back to this shot, again, if you look here, it's all blurred out. If you look here, all blurred out. But then for this rack focus, it's completely different. First of all, obviously to pull off a rack focus, it's got to be all blurred out. But look how clean the blur is. There's no blur. But then obviously they could have just cut this and then blurred out everything else. But then when you switch to J, like none of the blur, like he's all blurred out, but none of it bleeds into the environment. I'm so curious as to how they pulled this off. None of the environment is blurred out. That was like the big telltale. If you look here, yeah. See how like they can't cut this cleanly. so they blur out the environment, but they don't do that here. How did they pull off this? It's quite possible that this is the same shot. Like, this is possible to pull off. The reason why they didn't do it, and you might think, well, why didn't, if they can actually pull this off where they're in front of each other, why not film like that? Why go out of their way to like do that? Because when you shoot at this angle, it's a little bit more difficult to actually get it all sharp and in frame. But when you shoot head on, it's a lot easier because it's all one plane. So this is also, I feel like, playing off more of a horror trope where it starts bleeding from the walls, except it's water because, you know, they're talking about crying. But this shot, I love this shot where it switches to one pillar. Oh, I mean, God, that looks so good. They just keep reusing the same two sets. There's the one with all like the bullet holes in it, and then this one. They've used only this. This is like their main set, and this is the only one they've used. And I can't believe how this music video is still so interesting. Boom! And then that's when I expected a drop, but no. Oh, I see. So the paintings on the wall, all of the wavy designs, it's supposed to be water. And there's water on the ground, and then the water effect on Zombie. Okay. Wow. Zombie by DAY6. Powerful song. Kind of exactly what I needed. I cannot wait to listen to the rest of the album. Guys, let me know, what did you think of DAY6's Zombie? Please let me know in the comments down below. And thank you to our sponsor once again, Skillshare. If you want to get 2 months free, our first 1,000 subscribers who click the link in the description down below can get 2 months free. So be sure to get your free trial today. Also, if you would like to additionally support us, head on over to Patreon. When you go to Patreon at patreon.com/formatherapy, for as little as $2 a month, you get early access to videos like this and more. At different level tiers, you get live stage reactions, variety show reactions, drama club, etc. So tune in for that if you want to. However, supporting us monetarily is completely optional. Why don't you go ahead and hit like down below right here. When you hit like, it helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm. When you leave a comment, it does the same thing. So please consider interacting with our videos. Hit subscribe over here and be notified when we upload a new video by checking out the notification bell and all our other videos over here.